Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Before I dive into today's first look, I do want to mention if you enjoyed the Gaming Gang and would like to support the outlet, you can do so in a few ways. First, by utilizing our affiliate links to the One Bookshelf sites, such as DriveThruRPG. And to do so, simply visit thegaminggang.com, click on one of our banners. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. You can also make a one-time donation by way of PayPal or become a monthly member of our Patreon. You'll find links in the show notes. Also in those show notes, you're going to find an invite link to our Discord server. It's free to sign up, so be sure to hang with the gang over on Discord. Today, I am going to take a first look at Alien the Role-Playing Game's Evolved Edition starter set from Free League Publishing. This is arriving in stores on November 18th. It's going to carry an MSRP of $39.99. Having said all that, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got the starter set for Alien the Role-Playing Game Evolved Edition. Let's get the shrink wrap off here to start off. A few things to mention before we get stuck in. First of all, my friends over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this first look with you. It's important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the booklets that are inside. We're not going to look at every handout, but I do want to give you a really good feel for what you're going to find inside this starter set. And then lastly, there is an adventure that's included. So if you're a player and your game mother, the game master in the case of Alien, the role-playing game, has ordered this, maybe they're planning on picking this up, I do want to let you know, as we flip on through, I guarantee we're going to see some spoilers. I know nothing about the adventure that's inside this, but I can guarantee we're going to see some things that might ruin some of the surprises of the adventure within. All right, let's take a look at the back here. I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies. Topping charts and capturing hearts since its release, Alien the Role-Playing Game has become a fan favorite across the globe, inspiring new standards for horror and sci-fi RPGs while winning a dozen top awards over the years, including Best Game at the ENnie Awards. Now the time has come for an evolution. Alien the Role-Playing Game Evolved Edition expands upon the original experience and provides an updated and revised version that will feel fresh for rookie and veteran players alike. This completely new starter set is designed as a perfect starting point for role-playing in the Alien universe, containing everything you need for your game night. And it looks like we're even going to get a miniature of the xenomorph. I should point out all of the new releases for Alien the Role-Playing Game Evolved Edition did arrive just today. So I've got the core rulebook, I've got the miniatures, I've got the boxed adventure. So we are going to be taking a peek at all of that. All right, let's open this up, see what we've got inside. So it looks like we've got a deck of cards. We actually have a tuck box for the cards. That's cool. These are our stress die, or I should say stress dice, plural. These should be our task dice. We have our miniature of the xenomorph. Very nice. Got a games catalog. We've got a dial. So we've got our little plastic pieces to hold the dial together. So here we've got some tokens. Let's move that out of the way. And first off, let's take a look at some of the dice. Look like these are cut dice. Yes, they are. Really nice. And you get a bunch of them. What, 10? There are 10 dice here? Yes, there are. So altogether, it looks like we're going to get 20 custom dice in this starter set. I got to say, Free League Publishing really usually puts together some outstanding starter sets. We really get a lot of value. All right, come on. I actually like the yellow die here. So that is a 1. So that shows the face hugger. And then that is our 6. So Alien, the role-playing game, does utilize the Year Zero engine, which is a dice pool system utilizing 6-sided dice. Just move those out of the way. All right, so got quite a bit of stuff here. This is kind of our getting started read me first sheet. So it looks like we're getting credit to all of the top Kickstarter backers. Look at all of them. Wow. So we're going to get a rules booklet. Here is our adventure, Hope's Last Day. Rules reference. And it looks like we've got 5 of these. Yep. That's nice. We'll take a closer look at those. We've got pre-generated characters. Then we've got our handouts. Looks like we've got some battle maps as well. So first thing we'll do is take a peek at the rules. You might recall I reviewed Alien, the role-playing game, liked it quite a bit, and it really did make some big changes to the Year Zero engine, at least what had come before that. So you've got your game master is called the game mother in Alien, the role-playing game, because of course the computer system on the ships are referred to as mother. So here we're going to take a peek at our credits page. A lot of folks work very hard to bring this to life. So let's give some credit where credit is due. Talking about what is a role-playing game. There you go. There's the game mother section right there. So as far as your player characters, you've got 4 attributes: strength, agility, wits, and empathy. And then you will have your skills. Skills are measured on a level from 0 to 5. The attributes run from 1 to 5. And for action resolution, normally what you're going to do is you're going to take your attribute and the applicable skill you're using. You're going to total those together. That's the number of dice you roll. And you're looking to roll 6 or higher on those dice to score successes. So you also have talents. We have resolve, health, personal agendas, talking about gear, consumables. Now I am going to skip some pages here. So here you have the breakdown of making your skill rolls. And then we also have stress dice. Stress is pretty interesting in this game because stress can actually make you focus as the player character, focus more, but it can also cause a lot of problems. That is one of the new mechanics that came into life with the first Alien, the role-playing game. I think they have tweaked some of those rules as well. I had heard through the grapevine that I think that there's a little more complexity to this evolved edition. I don't know for certain because this is the first opportunity I've had to actually dive on in. So we've got our section here about combat and initiative. So we've got some examples here. Close combat, ranged combat. Panic. Mounting tension in your character is measured by your stress level. It starts at 0 and increases during the course of the game. Your stress can increase in many ways. It's telling you how that happens. Then you have a panic roll. As long as you keep your stress in check, you can use it to your advantage. But if the tension grows too strong, it can explode, sending you into a wild panic. It talks about what situations you would make a panic roll for. And then we've got a panic response, different hazards. It's like we've got some gear. And all in all, we got 25 pages to our rules here. Next up, we've got our adventure. This adventure actually seems like it might be a little longer than 25 pages. So this is a short cinematic adventure. So cinematic adventures are essentially campaigns, one-shot campaigns that rather than having a campaign game where your characters are going to go through a variety of different situations and adventures and stuff like that. Cinematic adventures are self-contained. In fact, most of the Alien adventures are the cinematic style. So we have 3 acts to this adventure. So this is going to take place on Hadley's Hope. Well, well, well. This is a layout of the interior, different levels, different events taking place. I'll take a guess that the player characters are probably terraformers. They're already on Hadley's Hope. Yeah. Oh, actually, this is a little bit shorter. I don't know. This just felt like it was a thicker book, weirdly enough. All right. Here are those reference sheets. So giving us breakdown of the skill roll, quick actions, full actions, panic rolls, stealth sequence. We've got stress response, panic response. That's cool. Almost everything you need right there on the player aid. Okay, so here we've got the pre-generated characters. So we've got a mechanic, survey team leader, security officer, tractor driver, and a science officer. So as an example here, we've got Sonny Sig telling us they've got a curious personality, a little bit of background about them, and then here we've got their character sheet. So as I mentioned, this is a dice pool system. So strength is 2, agility 4, wits 4, empathy 4, and then taking a look at the various different skills. They have zeros in strength and agility, but then we also have wits and empathy. So as an example, if you were using survival, you would have 4 plus 1. So you'd have 5 dice. You're rolling a pool of 5 dice in order to roll successes. Usually you only need 1 success, but depending on the difficulty of what you're looking to achieve, you might need to roll more than 1. So that's just kind of an example there of our player characters. Here's a layout of Hadley's Hope. Pretty cool handout there. And then we have these maps. So there you go. Here's the stars of the middle heavens. That's cool. One thing about the first edition of Alien, the role-playing game, that was really cool was how it really expanded upon what we're familiar with from the Alien films. Really, really nicely done. So this is that map that we saw of the interior. And these aren't just paper. There is a treatment to that. So these will hold up pretty nicely. It's like we've got another battle map here. So level 1 and level 2. Then we've got a ship. And then we have another smaller map. I think is this the same area? Maybe not. Still pretty cool. Very nicely done. So I think this is probably more of a handout to kind of give you an idea of just the layout. And then when combat breaks out, you would utilize these. All right. So we've got 3 of these. Got the layout of Hadley's Hope. Got our pre-generated characters, our rules reference cards, our adventure, our rules, tokens, our read that first, our miniature, and we've got our dice as well. So let's take a look. Last thing we'll do is take a peek at this deck of cards. I'm going to take a guess it's going to be a few different decks of cards, because previously with the boxed adventures that we would see for Alien, the role-playing game, we would have equipment cards. We might have NPC cards. If I can actually get this open. For crying out loud, this doesn't want to open up, and I don't want to tear. I always have little tricky tools to utilize. Let's see if I can kind of lift that up. There we go. I was going to say, you don't want me to look at the cards? So here we've got weapons, initiative. So your dealt initiative cards, personal agendas for the player characters. And there are multiples here. Condition cards, panic response cards, and stress response cards. It's going to tell you what the situation is. So if you're aggravated, what happens? Okay, so all skill rolls based on empathy get -2 dice. You got the shakes. So all skill rolls based on agility, -2 dice. Our initiatives, just 1 through 10. Personal agendas. Going to give you an idea of these. So, oh, you know what? These are different agendas depending on the act. That's cool. Got the weapons. I like how we've got the images here. It's pretty cool. All right. So all of the different cards. Put those back into the box. I'll just do that for now. So all of these goodies are inside the Alien, the role-playing game, Evolved Edition starter set from Free League Publishing. Once again, this is arriving in stores on November 18th. I'll have to double check to see if there's an embargo on the review. I kind of think there is. I think there is an embargo on the Alien, the role-playing game Evolved Edition releases as far as reviews, not for first looks though. All right. So that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you will not find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. And until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.